Alright, so the Blox Fruits Dragon Rework situation is worse than you possibly could have thought. So, if you didn't know, Blox Fruits recently dropped their new Dragon Rework update, and they reworked the guns and stuff, and honestly, it seemed pretty cool until you take into consideration that they scanned basically their whole player base. A player base that had access to permanent dragon and their dragon fruits in their inventory. They took them away and forced them to repay for the dragon again. So not only does this little stunt they pulled go against Roblox terms of service, but also can get them in legal trouble and potentially get them in a class action lawsuit situation. So you'll get this. Section 5 of the Federal Trade Commission Act, FTC Act of 1914 makes it illegal to engage in unfair or deceptive acts or practices in commerce. Unfair or deceptive acts or practices. Section 5 also prohibits unfair or deceptive acts in or affecting commerce. The FTC enforces this prohibition through adjudication. They are referring to bait and switch. So the bait and switch is a form of fraud that violates the FTC Act, and it is illegal in the United States. It's considered a form of fraud. What they pulled is illegal, but also Uzoth lied to you because there was no warning behind any of this. He never said anything to anyone. He just did it. The Blox Fruits team never said anything to anyone about taking away your dragon fruits in your inventory and your permanent one. They just did it. What Blox Fruits did do, though, is give you permanent dragon tokens. The regular dragon token, it was actually literally a scam, bro. But the permanent dragon token, it would let you pick one out of the 4 options. You could either get a discount on the dragon fruit, on the permanent dragon fruit. B, get permanent dough and flame. C, get the fast boats game pass and some other game passes. Or D, get dark blade and some other game passes. And there was this guy on Twitter. He had permanent dragon, he had every single game pass, and he had permanent dough and flame. So he was basically forced to pick the discount, which meant that it basically had no use to him. The dragon token had no use to him, meaning that to get what he lost back, to have any value in what he lost, he'd have to, but essentially, he was basically forced to repurchase his fruit. To more people than you might expect, this dragon fruit token was a paperweight. There was no value to it at all. There's no way to justify it because you're not getting your value back. And the other thing that really low-key makes me mad is that when they reworked some other fruits, they didn't take your permanent away. So clearly they were just trying to make a bag before Christmas because they took your stuff away. They didn't want to do that with any of the other fruits. If you had any of the other fruits, they didn't take your perm away when they reworked them. So they're just doing this because they're greedy. They're just trying to make a bag off you since it's around Christmas season. What they did is actually illegal in the United States and many other countries. So, yeah, y'all might want to watch out, Uzoth and crew, because it might get a little tragic in here.